Three, two, one.
Hello, Internet.
That's not follow the script, bro. Follow the script. It's episode one.
I'm joking.
All right, cool. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
That was good.
Welcome.
Welcome to episode 1 of
The Upper Room
Thank you
Podcast.
very much. I am your host, Lem.
And I'm your host, Francesco,
Yes, and welcome to the show where we discuss topics.
which may relate to you to a deeper level. No. No.
Roll the intro.
Science needs to be proven and science needs to be reproduced.
Please don't take it from two people on the internet.
This is why this topic, it's always so hard to discuss.
Tell us what topic we will be discussing.
Well, today's topic is going to be a topic which is going to be a bit, broad.
Okay.
I want every single viewer to kind of relate to this, which is why we're going to debate and discuss faith against science. Which one should one believe? Which one should one follow? Should they really trust science and reject faith? Or should we just embrace faith and maybe, reject science?
Okay. So I'm just to start this off, where do you stand on that?
Oh, where do I stand?
Where do you stand?
Stand in the faith side.
Okay.
We're both Christian fellows. We said that on the beginning. However, for the sake of argument and because I like disagreeing with Alamo, I'll be your average Joe, and I'm gonna be in the science.
Okay, you're gonna
Side.
advocate for science.
Yes, I'll try and advocate for science.
See, at the beginning of time, where science was
Nothingness.
the beginning of time, not that, a bit after. That
Oh,
part.
cells in
where-
water.
Okay. Okay. So at the beginning of when people started reasoning, right,
Okay.
I feel like people started thinking about God before they started, thinking about science necessarily. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like the natural instinct of man is to question the possibility of like a greater being, greater existence, right?
Okay.
Over time, we found a way to explain things through science.
And where did God go?
And where did God go? See, my argument is, this is where I stand on the whole faith versus science debate. I don't think it's fair or even like fully reasonable to completely discard one or the other. I think both.
Nah,
can
he's one of
be-
them people who never wants to decide and
No,
wants
no,
to
no,
be
no,
cool
no,
with
no, no.
both
Hear me out,
people.
hear me out.
Like whenever the faith people come and saying, hey, what's up, bro? And whenever the science people,
Let me explain. So obviously, like you mentioned, we're both Christians. We both
yeah.
believe in God. But there is when we talk about science, I need you to like define what you mean by like science. Because the way that I see science, right, I believe that like everything in nature, everything in the world follows like a specific order.
Yeah,
Like everything
that's-
follows a certain function.
all right.
And I think I do believe that science is the way that we explain things that have been created, right? So like I'm able to acknowledge that there's a God that created nature, but my way to explain how nature works is through science.
Okay, that's a very, very smart kind of,
Okay.
way of looking at it. Just know that he's not this smart in real life.
Okay.
It's scripted. Everything.
Everything. Next page, please. Page.
We have like a
page.
screen behind you
Yeah,
guys.
there's a teleprompter like right behind the camera.
No. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So let's set the groundwork.
For sure.
So, we know where to disagree.
Yeah.
So the question this podcast is going to be, focusing on is, should Christians embrace scientific theories
Okay.
such as the Big Bang,
Okay.
or should they adhere strictly to the Bible's teachings?
Okay.
Because, the Bible does not describe, or maybe doesn't describe a Big Bang.
Well, I've heard. So yeah, I don't think necessarily. A lot of people when they say like science and faith contradict each other. I don't really think that's true.
All right. So now we found where we stand.
Okay.
You think
Yeah.
that science and faith are one with each other.
I don't think they're necessarily one.
Okay.
I think certain aspects of science are a good explanation of
Okay.
biblical records.
Whereas I think that one is right and one is wrong.
One is
and
completely wrong and shouldn't be brought up. Lock in
they
the
can't be
basement.
both right.
Don't-
No,
Nah,
because
okay.
how do you explain? Because the science says that the Earth was created in like a long time, like before it was like all rock and all that, and then water came through meteor or whatever. But like the Bible says that the world was created in
7 days.
7
6
days,
days.
6 days, one day you rested.
Yes, yes.
So how do you
Right.
explain that?
So I heard on somewhere, right, that obviously science says that the Earth is like a certain age. I forget. Wait, let me figure out how.
We're gonna assume that the Earth is about 2020 years. Wait, no,
What did you say?
4,004. No,
Right. So according to science, the Earth is 4.54 billion years old.
close enough.
Close. Right, 4.5 billion years old, right? Apparently, that doesn't like completely line up with biblical records, I think. 'Cause I
4 billion years isn't 4,000 years. No.
Yeah, no. But
Wait,
our
6,000?
producers are saying 6,000. I'm sorry.
Wait, can you double check that?
Okay.
6,000 years.
Well, according to the Bible.
Oh yeah, according to the Bible,
Yeah.
the Earth is 6,000 years old, and according to science, it's 4 billion years old.
Right.
So explain that.
I heard someone say that when God created Adam, he created him as a man, as an adult human. Even though the first day that he existed, technically speaking, he was a day old. I don't know. Like his first day was like his first day, but he was created as a full-aged human being, like a full-aged adult, right?
Yes.
So I'm saying like it's not impossible for God to have created something and created it in like I don't want to say like fast forward, but skipped like processes like
You do raise a point,
So this is just to kind of keep the conversation going. But I had this thought, and I've never researched it, so don't believe everything you hear on the internet, kids.
Yes.
But I just always, when you read the scripture, right, about the age, because a lot of the things that they're dating, they're using like the minerals that you find in the rocks, like in the actual earth, to date the earth, right? And from what I understand, when you read scripture, it starts with, creation, and God created, the heavens and the earth, fair. But then it says, and the earth was without form, and the Spirit of the Lord moved upon the waters. And then he started saying, like he started doing all the creating. So I like to think that the earth, like the rock earth, was there just chilling with water all over it and the Spirit of God just hovering over it for billions and billions of years. And then one day God was like, okay, let me zhuzh this up. Because the Bible is a narrative, so it starts at a point, but where the Bible starts is not necessarily the beginning of time, because God was there, angels were there, a lot had happened before then. So I'm like, okay, maybe the actual rock, planet Earth, was there for billions and billions of years, and then one day God was like, let it die.
yeah.
But that's just me spitballing. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet, kids.
This is why this topic, it's always so hard to discuss.
Yeah, because the things that I'll be honest, the controversial things in science that people tend to use to contradict Christianity or religion in general, most of them are theories. Now, the big one is evolution, for example. There's no scientific kind of like evidence to prove that evolution is the way that we came about. It's a theory. It's a theory based on a scientific process that does happen. Evolution does happen, but not in the way. I think evolution happens obviously things evolve. You know, bacteria evolves.
Yeah,
That's
but
how they become more.
we
human.
didn't come
So
from this.
natural selection
Natural selection
happens,
is real.
and from natural selection, evolution, as we understand it in terms of creation, was
Yes.
extrapolated.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I do not think that that is how.
We came about,
We
not
came
from
about,
monkeys.
no.
And one thing about science, I will say this though, for people that team science, one thing, what makes science, what makes science different from any other thing in terms of what people believe, is that science needs to be proven and science needs to be reproduced. So if something is true, you need to be able to prove it and you need to be able to reproduce it. When you're doing research, they always say that if you have proven something with your research, somebody else should be able to read your article, read your methods, and reproduce what you said for it to be true. Now, there are other tests as well. And the reason why stuff like the evolution theory remains a theory is because, as far as my knowledge, nobody has been able to reproduce the Big Bang. So therefore, even that theory hasn't been able to be tested with the scientific method thoroughly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you can't even, if somebody doesn't believe in that specific thing, you can't even say the person doesn't believe in science as a whole. I believe in science, for example, and the method of science and the usefulness of science. But if you have not been able to prove something to me in the objective way the science demands, there is an element of faith you're demanding from me to believe it, and I can choose not to, apply my faith in that way.
Yeah, like she said, I think understanding and acknowledging that scientific things are possible does not necessarily have to go against the faith and vice versa. I can believe that creation is real, but still understand that science is important and science is also real. But there's certain aspects in science that just aren't but I also think it's interesting. I'll let you speak in a minute. It's interesting how, because I see the Bible and biblical stuff and religion is historical record, right?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting comparing science and scientific theories with historical records. I think that's interesting. It's almost like, are they in the same category? Can you compare those two? Is that something does it make sense? I know we're literally doing it right now, but does it make sense?
Right
to compare
now,
those
what
things?
I'm seeing is you guys teaming up me, man. I've been staying quiet all this time. Help me out.
No. Go on.
Which is
go on,
why,
Yeah.
just to remind you guys, if you guys have, any different thoughts,
If you
can
guys
just-
want to help out Francesco, he's struggling right now.
What do you mean help out? I'm doing fine. Just I want you guys' opinion and all that.
Yeah.
You can just comment it down below and all that.
Yeah,
Well,
and I think what you're doing is very important because what I like to do in my spare time sometimes is I
in
like
your
listening.
you time.
Yeah, in my me time, I like listening to debates
Okay.
where a Christian would debate either an agnostic, an atheist, anyone from any other religion,
Yeah.
just so I can hear their points and see, because in my life I want to be able to, I don't want those kind of arguments to surprise me.
Yeah.
Right? I want to know what the likely arguments will be, and I want to know what I believe or what my response to those should be. So then when I hear those arguments, I can do my own research and find out, the truth behind it. So I like what you're doing, trying to play
Yeah.
the opposition, so that when your time comes.
Like
So
some-
that so you'll know what to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I did hear this somewhere in some kind of video, TikTok.
Yeah.
Was
Very
this-
reliable source.
Very reliable source. Please install TikTok. TikTok, if you want to support us, our disc,
Yeah.
Instagram. All right. So, something I heard. It's the idea of the apostles either being eyewitnesses and people who, actually met the God who created the whole universe,
For sure.
or masterminds, people who are very, very smart with the words.
Wait, what does that mean?
Like maniacs kind of smart, because they spread the gospel.
Right.
And some non-believers think,
Mm-hmm.
or not even some Muslims too, like, they believe that the gospel has been corrupted and all that.
Yeah.
So
That is
there
an
is
argument I know a lot.
people do believe that oh, maybe the gospels aren't true, or they've been corrupted. So what would you respond to that? Like, how could you defend
So-
something you haven't written yourself, for example?
Yeah, what you said about eyewitness. First of all, I like the term mastermind is kind of funny to me, because that would like imply that they knew what they're doing from like day one. And
Yeah.
they planned it.
We're
But-
gonna die together. You know what I'm saying?
That's the argument. Like
Yeah.
nobody willingly dies for what they know to be false. People don't willingly die for what they know to be false. Right. So for someone to like want to be ready to go to the point of death to defend what they truly believe is true, and for like all of these apostles to be ready to do that,
Yeah.
it has to mean something,
Darn.
right? Like it has to mean something, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Also, the eyewitnesses, right? So, there are other accounts of Jesus, for example, for example, Jesus mentioned in Islam, right?
Yes.
But they
Isa,
don't acknowledge him as Son of God. I think they think he's
he's a
just
prophet.
Right.
I've heard this from Muslim
And
people.
there's the argument that Islam came like years after Christianity and after the like eyewitness accounts of Jesus Christ, right? So the people that wrote the Gospels were walking and talking with Jesus and were
Okay.
with him when the things were happening, right? So then I
Alright.
think anytime that you go into history,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what kind of history it is,
Mm-hmm.
you always get it from reliable sources, which are usually eyewitnesses or people that know eyewitnesses. That's why the Gospels, Matthew, Mark,
Luke and
wasn't. Luke wasn't. He didn't know Jesus personally, but
He knew
was,
people.
He knew eyewitnesses. So that's why, like, there are parts of like, not parts of the Bible, but there are
Yeah,
like,
part of the Gospels where it kind of looks as if it contradicts. There's this one famous part
yeah.
where they're trying to find out who is the
Is it
father.
the lineage?
Yeah, the lineage.
Yeah, so-
in one it says this guy, and the other
Yeah,
one it says
So I've heard. I don't know which books they are, but
I know one is Luke, and the other one might be.
Matthew, I think. think it's
The
Matthew.
correction will pop up here
I'm
again.
pretty sure it's Matthew. But I think the argument for that, the argument is that
Oh, there is two different fathers, therefore
no.
Jesus.
Well, no.
yeah, that's the
well,
argument.
yeah, because basically the thing is that one of the authors, I'm forgetting which one, is either Matthew or
Luke knew the mother.
Yes. So then he went from the lineage of Mary, right? Because in his, I don't know if it was Luke actually. It could have been
Yeah.
Matthew, because one of them, okay, I don't know which one is which, but one of them knew Jesus
Uh-huh.
as, he understood that Jesus was born of a Virgin Mary.
Perfect.
Therefore, the father in the equation doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
That sounds harsh on Joseph.
Please
but Joseph
forgive
didn't really
us,
matter.
all Joseph fans in the congregation. Please
Yeah.
forgive us.
At the end of the day, his lineage didn't really matter because it was a miracle birth of the Virgin Mary.
Yep.
While the other writer was trying to uphold like tradition and trying to write from the physical father in the family. So that's why that lineage focuses on Joseph lineage. But that's the thing about the different gospels and when they seem to contradict each other.
Yeah.
It's a matter of perspective, right? If you and I are on opposite side of the street,
Yep.
right, and we both witness a car accident,
Yep.
car crashes, we hear a car crashes,
Uh huh.
there's a woman that screams and breaks that okay, how do I do this?
Woman screams.
Car-
The dog barks.
And then collision.
Yes.
Right? If someone asks you what happened and you say there was a collision and a woman screamed,
Uh huh.
and then someone asks me and I say there was a collision and a dog barked,
We're
not
describing
contradicting each other.
the
We're both
same
telling
thing.
different parts of the
Oh.
same story.
He
Right.
made sense. He made sense.
So that's what I think that's pretty much what the Gospels are, right? And
Fair enough.
depending on the personality of the writer of the Gospel, they'll focus on different aspects of the same story.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I do have a final question because all good things come to an end. We need to end the episode.
Yeah.
A
And then
question
we'll
for
go into
you.
our elevated moment.
Ooh,
Yeah.
the elevated moment.
Elevated moment.
Ah, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Why would somebody choose to believe what you believe instead of what I believe? That it's either science or faith. Why should somebody choose to believe that, maybe science describes what we believe in as faith? Or maybe that, they're both correct in certain points. Why would anybody watching this right now who believes that science is correct or that faith is necessarily the only correct thing, why would any of these people believe what you're saying? Why is your argument a natural argument?
Okay.
Why is it valid?
At the end of the day, I say this all the time. Well, not all the time, but whenever this comes up, I say this. Don't believe it because I believe it. Like, you need to make up your mind yourself when it comes to faith. Science is there, and parts of it have been proven, and parts of it we don't understand yet. We don't know. A lot of it is theory. But when it comes to like faith and like the Bible and like theology, please don't take it from two people on the internet.
You can
Because
take it from me though.
no, because I tell you what, I'm still learning, and there are things that I'm still learning. Like, I still need to figure out. The evidence is there. Read the Gospels, right? I don't think you'll read something in the Bible that will contradict science in the sense of how plants grow.
Plants
or
were actually made.
biology or like physics, except they're miracles. That's the thing. That's
True. That is
and that's-
supernatural above
exactly. I
nature.
think that's the importance of science and faith, because when you have science in faith, miracles mean something.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
When you put science in faith, when God can not break those rules, but like step outside of the rules that He created, that He put in place, then that actually means something. That's why I
actually
think they're
deep.
both important.
That's actually deep.
Yeah, that's my elevated moment actually.
Bro, why are you still in my elevator
Was that
mode?
your elevated moment? Explain what elevated moments are, real quick.
All right, so I just want to say that we finished.
Yeah,
We won't bore you anymore.
it's done. Yeah,
No?
elevated moments are just we pick our favorite parts of our discussion and we expand on it. That was mine. I think one of the reasons why we need faith and religion, that harmony, not just religion. I said faith and religion. But we
You
need faith
probably
and
did.
science. That harmony needs to be there because instances come where God can step outside of the rules that He put in place, and those moments mean things. It means something. So I think it's really important. Go on.
Well, my elevator moment is when we talked about evolution and how it's not a point where we, originate from. And although to this very day I still believe that some people cannot be, related to me at that kind of level. I do understand what people mean. Yeah, we don't come from monkeys. Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to see more, subscribe.
Tell
all
us
the
what we
things.
can do.
Yeah.
Any suggestions
Put
will
in
help.
suggestions. Share this with people that you think.
Please donate. I'll leave my PayPal in the description.
No, I said
right
yes.
here.
No, don't. God bless.
God bless.